And we're live. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of FPL Focal. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, we hit 300 subs, Matthew, on the last stream, so appreciate everyone that helped with hitting that milestone. Appreciate everyone tuning in for another stream. Adam, how you doing, mate? Sultan, how we doing? What a week, Adam says. Why is that? Oh, did you bring in Ings, Adam? Or am I mistaken? Let me turn the music down a bit. Yeah, I hope everyone's well. I've literally just come from I was at a virtual birthday party for one of my mates. So I've had a few beers. I don't know if how the show's going to go, but here I am. I scheduled it this morning and then I completely forgot that I had the virtual birthday arranged with a mate. So yeah, unfortunately I had to leave that early. Teddy's come to say hello though. So welcome Teddy to the stream. How was everyone's game week 25? mine was going really well. So I haven't updated my overall points and overall rank. I didn't have time. I was doing pretty well. I was sitting at about 125k. And then today's games happened. So I didn't have Rafinha. I didn't have any Lee's defense. I was thinking about getting Stroik, but I didn't bother in the end. So I think my live rank is going to be something like 160k after Mendy comes off my bench for Forster. So that puts me on 69. Arpit, how are we doing, mate? Dylan, good to see you. Einar, 86 with a -4 for Einar. 87. I feel like every week I go live and everyone in the chat's got a much better score than me. Yeah, disappointing week. I did roll my second free transfer because the plan was to use it for the Double Gameweek 26 and hopefully utilise it better. So fingers crossed I do. Let's have a look at how my team is lining up as it stands. So that's the team on paper right now, but I've got 2 free transfers which I haven't used yet and I actually don't know how I'm going to use them yet. I've got a spreadsheet which has got about 6 different outcomes on. 200k green arrow for Dylan. Love that. Well played. Jano also got 69. 72 for Kitty. Red arrow. What's the live average? Does anyone know? Live average is 55. 54.6. Rounded up to 55. In the top 10k it was 78. Anyway, appreciate everyone that's tuning in already. 18 here. As I say, I have just come from a virtual birthday party and I've had quite a few beers, so I don't know how this show's going to go or how long we're going to go for, but I have put a little bit together. So we'll go for as long as we can until we're sick of each other. There's quite a few interesting talking points actually from this week. Most notably the leaks and the effect that they've had on the Premier League clubs, Aston Villa in particular, but we've also seen Guardiola asked about FPL today actually, so it's quite interesting. FPL coming into the limelight, I suppose. Getting more focus than it definitely used to. Up it with 101 with a -4. That is a ridiculous score. Sultan's up to 84k. Very, very nice. Smashing it. Rari, how we doing, mate? Bench boost with Mitchell, Bamford, Dallas and Areola. Bamford, Dallas, and Areola. Mitchell, interestingly, did play again, and they won. So I do expect Mitchell to play the Fulham game, and he could play against Man U as well. It does depend on your chips, though. Rory, have you used your wildcard yet? I think the most effective way to bench boost is wildcarding just before, because then you can obviously set yourself up with a really, really strong bench. But on paper, your bench does look good. You've obviously got Mitchell and Areola who have a double. Bamford and Dallas play a single, but it's not the worst single. Playing Villa at home. So it depends on if you've used your wildcard there. If you haven't, then yeah, I'd say a bench boost sounds sensible. Alex says Dean Smith's a balling fraud. Yeah, outrageous for him to ban the Villa players from FPL off the back of the leagues. Let's quickly cover that because it was interesting. So Aston Villa banned players from fantasy football after news of Jack Grealish's injury was leaked. So yeah, for those that don't know, there's the Twitter account, the FPL Insider, and it's a bot that reports on the transfers that players and staff make concerning the club they're from. And of course, those who are on our Discord know that we've got a insider trading channel, and in total, I think it was 5 Villa players and staff sold Grealish, and there was no news on it at the time, so everything pointed towards a Grealish injury because, you know, there's no logic in them selling their best player. And yeah, lo and behold, Grealish was injured, so Dean Smith obviously not happy about that, so he's reportedly banned all the Villa players from FPL off the back of that. And then Sky Sports were reporting on it as well. They said automated software or bots which track the fantasy football teams of Premier League players and staff are at the centre of growing concerns over team news leaks. What are your guys' take on this? What do you think about the bots? Do you think Dean Smith's overreacting, banning the players from playing FPL? I can see, you know, there's very niche scenarios where a team might gain an advantage. You know, if Brendan Rodgers genuinely saw that Grealish had been mass sold and thought, Grealish might be injured, then I can see that's the advantage. But, you know, most game weeks, they're just making very ordinary transfers. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of an overreaction. But, you know, it's the Premier League. There's millions of pounds at stake, you know, fine margins. So, you know, I could see both sides of the coin. Pep was asked about it as well. He said, I heard what happened with Aston Villa. I know players play games, but I don't know what it is. Right, I'm going to call it now. This is bullshit. There's no way Pep doesn't know what FPL is. Anyway, he says, I heard it for the first time when I listened yesterday to the headlines about this situation, but I don't know what it's about. And he says, sometimes you make a team selection and players speak to friends on other teams and talk about what you do. Sometimes it happens and it's incredibly unethical and unprofessional, but you cannot control it. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. Is this? Oh, this is the same. This is the same tweet. Fine. Get off that. Back to the team. Only for Fun says it solves nothing as staff went banned, just the players. Oh, is that true? Yeah, I mean that solves nothing because there was several staff that I believe sold Grealish as well. So yeah, I don't see how that's going to fix anything because if staff are mass selling players, then, you know, it's exactly the same situation. You can draw the same conclusions. Thanks everyone that has tuned on already. Surprised to see such a good turnout at this late time of night. I did schedule it for 9 o'clock, but obviously, as I say, I had the virtual birthday party for my friend that I completely forgot about, so I pushed the stream to 10 o'clock. Which I suppose is good as well because the Chelsea game is happening, I think, or is it finished? Anyone know what the Chelsea score was? They're playing Atletico away, right? But Crazy, David, Dylan, Einar, Matthew, Ollie, Only for Fun, Sultan, D, Omar, might have said your name wrong there. Appreciate you all tuning in. And Adam says, let's not forget there was already Grealish leaks before the deadlines. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I think Dean Smith was probably just a bit salty after losing to Leicester, and he's drawn the conclusion there. connected two dots that weren't connected. But yeah, it's very interesting to see FPL talked about at this level. Matt says, just impose a fine to anyone if anyone reveals inside info. Yeah, what do you mean if a player or staff make a transfer for one of their injured players? I suppose that technically does qualify as leaking inside info. But then it's difficult to ask, them to play the game and not have any players concerning the club that they're from, because, they would really want to have players from the club they play for. I mean, if I was a Villa player, I would love to have Grealish in my team. Imagine playing a Premier League game, in the same team as Grealish, and he hauls in a game, and you've got him in your FPL. It's like a double win. You'd be celebrating the Grealish returns and also your team scoring. Where did I get to in chat? Dylan says, Pep knows what FPL is. He does that to piss us off. Yeah, the rotation. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, likewise, he subs players off like Bernardo Silva in the 59th minute. I refuse to believe he's not doing that just to piss us all off. Chelsea won 1-0. Giroud overhead kick. Wow, what a result. Is that the first leg? I mean, that's an incredible result away to Atletico. Chelsea fans must be delighted with that. Varnon, how we doing, mate? He says, already done Ings to DCL. If Grealish is out, do you think Bam to Watkins is worth a -4? I'm using bench boost. That's a tough one because Grealish is obviously massive. A big loss to the side. I would still be very tempted because he's got the double game week and because Villa have a potential double game week 28, which is something I'll talk about shortly. It's not official yet, but it's something to have at the back of your mind. We won't know until after this Friday, probably after the deadline, once the Europa League draw is done. And once that's done, yeah, there's a good shout, or there's a good chance that we end up with Aston Villa versus Everton in game week 28 becoming a double. So both Everton and Villa having a double. I'll have to check that Giroud goal out after the game. So a quick update on the Kings of the Game Week. Dallas joins the Kings of the Game Week. Another bloody defender. Going all the way back to game week 15. Game week 23 was the only game week where we didn't have a defender. I mean, it's getting ridiculous at this point, the amount of defenders we're seeing in the Kings of the Game Week. But yeah, it's Dallas who makes it this week. Obviously scored tonight, I guess, against Southampton in a 3-0 win. Kept the clean sheet, and I think he got 1 or 2 points in the first game against Wolves. So 17 points for Dallas. Any Dallas owners in the chat? Obviously playing out of position as well. He's been playing in midfield because of the injuries. I think particularly Phillips being out. So Dallas has been playing out of position. Dallas has been phenomenal. We were saying at the earlier game weeks of this season that there was definitely going to be some value in that Leeds defence, in the same way that Sheffield had great value last season when they came up. You know, a lot of these Sheffield players started at 4.5 and ended up being unbelievable value by the end of the season. And yeah, Dallas has become, you know, that same player, but for Leeds. Only for fun, I haven't updated the sidebar. I've literally just come straight from a virtual birthday party, so I didn't have time to redo the sidebar, but I'm on 69 points, not 80. It's a red arrow. I think I'm like 160k now. But hoping to bounce back in a big way next game week. I mean, I've got so many possible transfers planned. I'll just talk about what I'm potentially going to do. So I've got 2 free transfers. One thing I was considering was getting rid of Mendy for Edison, getting rid of Stones for Digne, Everton have obviously got a good double game week 26 and potentially a double game week 28. Getting rid of me for Target, and then downgrading Bamford to good old Brewster. I mean, it'd be a -8. What do you guys think? My concern is that Stones, I just don't expect him to play all those games. They've got back-to-back double game weeks. They're going to be playing midweek, weekend, midweek, weekend. So I just don't know what Stones' chances are of playing all those games. Whereas Edison obviously will. Diaz a lot more likely to. You know, up until game week 24, Diaz had played every game, started every game. In the conference, Pep said that he had a stomach bug, an illness, and he ended up not starting against Tottenham. But besides that, he started week in, week out, and Pep said he's one of those players that can. So that's why I was considering it. And then it'd be a 3-5-2. And it obviously would be a little bit hopeful that Target and Digne do end up with a double game week 28 because, then I'd end up with Target, Digne, and Watkins and DCL playing in double game week 28 as well. And I wouldn't bench boost. Only for fun. I would save the bench boost for whenever I wildcard, in essence. So there's going to be other smaller double game weeks later on in the season. I did have it here somewhere, but I might have lost it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, obviously we've had all these fixtures rearranged, but there's still another 2 fixtures that are yet to be rearranged. So one of them's Villa against Everton. That's the one that could slot into game week 28. That's the next potential game week it could fit in. Failing that, it might go in a later game week, like 30. And then a Spurs v Southampton, but that can't slot in due to Spurs' Europa League obligation. So that would be later in the season. I think it's something like 32 that could next slot in. But that's another double game week guaranteed for both Spurs and Southampton. And likewise, Villa and Everton also have a guaranteed double. Let's have a look at Hendo's team, just a sec. Did you have you wildcarded Hendo? Because I'm not going to see a wildcard from here. 92 points though, decent score. Anyway, let's have a look at your team. So you got Lowton, Dallas. So you start DCL and Stones. Delap, interesting. I mean, he's not going to play a single minute, I would think. So you start Cancelo, Wan-Bissaka, Stones. So yeah, it'd have to be a 3-5-2. You could do Grealish to Barnes. You took a -8 for this game week, so you've only got 1 free transfer. That's the problem. I'd start Martinez. But yeah, I'd probably do Grealish to Barnes. And then maybe a hit to sell Lowton. Yeah, Barnes is looking like an outstanding pick. Leicester have got a pretty decent double game week. And good fixtures after the double as well. So this is the double game week ticker. There's a link to this in the description if anyone wants to have a proper look at this. This is just a modified version of the official ticker. This is not the right one, is it? I just realised now this is the complete wrong ticker. This is the double game week 24 ticker. I told you guys I'd had a few drinks. Have I got it in the actual description? Or did I not get that wrong as well? Right, here we go. There it is. That's the there's no way I'm leaving this video up. I'm going to delist this after this stream finishes. This is the actual fixture ticker for the double game week. So this includes double game week 26, double game week 27, blank game week 29, and also just off this is blank game week 33, where Spurs won't be playing. But yeah, obviously it's all about double game week 26. It's the last major double game week this season, and then there'll be some smaller ones. So what do you guys think about Spurs? Because on paper, Spurs have got one of the best set of double game week fixtures, but they're in pretty horrible form. And likewise, I'm interested to know what you guys think about Liverpool, because, you know, Salah's usually an outstanding pick for a double game week, but again, Liverpool in dire form. It's a tougher one than it looks. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some really surprising hauls from players from teams like West Brom. You know, they've got 2 home games. Their good fixture run starts now, so maybe we'll see a clean sheet or 2. Maybe someone like Maitland-Niles will end up hauling. He's been playing out of position. He's been playing in midfield for West Brom, but classified as a defender on FPL. Stuart asks, who to triple captain? Bruno, Gundogan, Son, DCL. You're tempted by DCL. Yeah, DCL is a really, really solid pick. Everton are one of those teams in form, unlike the Merseyside counterpart. But yeah, they've got Southampton at home, Southampton in horrible form, and West Brom away, which is a pretty decent fixture on paper as well. You know, Allardyce hasn't really shored up the West Brom defence like we thought he would. So DCL's a good option. Gundogan is a bit of a worry because he's just a rotation risk. Especially now KDB's back. Fancy KDB to start one or both. They're pretty much full strength actually, Man City. That's something Pep said in his conference. So it's hard to guarantee Gundogan playing both or, you know, the full 90 even. So I think it has to be between Bruno and DCL. And I'm still not sure myself, to be honest with you. At the moment, I've actually got it on Salah. But it's between Salah, Bruno, and DCL. I realise that doesn't help much. Son, I'm not so sure about. But I think Bruno just edges it over DCL for me. Hendo's wildcard team: Martinez, Target, Diaz, Shaw, Gundogan, Bruno, Son, KDB, nice. Barnes, Kane, DCL. Yeah, I love it. Really, really strong wildcard, that. The double Villa defence is, I'm not sure about that. Obviously, they've got Matty Cash out. They've got Grealish out. So I'm not sure about the double up, but it depends on who you've got to rotate in the future game weeks. I think it's worth gambling on the double or triple Villa because there's a potential double game week 28. You'll definitely be ahead of the curve, you know, if they do end up announcing that Villa and Everton both double in 28. And obviously 29 is the big blank. But yeah, strong wildcard. I really can't suggest any alternatives. You've got the triple City. Obviously KDB and Gundo are rotation risks, but you know what you sign up for with the City mids. They could haul in a single game week. Dylan says Spurs are overrated. I'm bringing in Kane but not Son. The 2 teams they're against have good defences. Yeah, this is the other thing. So it's on paper, you know, both the fixtures are green on the ticker, but Burnley obviously a good defensive side. Fulham likewise have actually done well compared to how they were early in the season. So it's not clear cut, and obviously Spurs out of form as I mentioned. But I do think you want to have at least one Spurs asset, either Son or Kane. MSK, should I do Sterling, Bamford and Mitchell out and Gundogan, Kane and Target in for a -4? Sterling to Gundo feels a little bit sideways, but I like that it enables Kane. Yeah, I like it. I rate that. Yeah, I can't fault that. I mean, Sterling I don't think represents good value because Gundogan's been outscoring him for, you know, almost half his price. So yeah, good moves. I like that. I do fancy Kane to do better than Son as well. Yeah, in those 2 games. I think those fixtures suit Kane better than Son. Blue Sky, what's your thoughts on a Kane triple captain? I don't see any better options other than DCL. Yeah, I like the Kane triple captaincy. It's an absolute coin toss this week. There's so many good standout options. Kane triple captain I like. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Kane's the one that hauls. You know, like I was saying, I think I fancy him better than Son to do well in the double. So, yeah, Kane's a decent option. And I think this is the game week to use the triple captain because there's so many options. So, it's not difficult to pick a candidate. And for the rest of the season, we're just going to have some smaller doubles. Ollie, taking a hit for Antonio to Watkins. Do you think a -4 for me to Pereira is worth it on a bench boost? I do actually. I put something together regarding Pereira. So this was from their last game against Villa. And Pereira was playing out of position. So Luke Thomas started in left back. Castagna started right back, which meant Pereira was out of position playing right mid. So yeah, it looks good for Pereira. He was an excellent asset last season up until his injury, and likewise the season before that. He's a really, really good player. So I think he's a really good shout, to be honest with you. Especially if you're selling me to enable Pereira. And especially if he's playing out of position. So I like the Pereira pick for sure. I think Digne and Pereira are two really solid premium defence options for the double and beyond. You know, as I say, Leicester have got very solid fixtures after the double. I might struggle to find 150th in the league, Dylan. I don't know if it tells you. I'll try. Just give me your team ID instead. I'll be able to get it that way. Hang on, I might be able to find it. 150th. Oh, there you are. Found you. So you used your wildcard in this game week. 94, massive score. The Leeds triple up came in clutch for you there. I'm trying to find your message now. Rate your week. Yeah, I mean 94 is an outstanding score. What's your live rank, Dylan? You must have flown up the ranks. Did you say you went up 200k? Yeah, really, really good wildcard. Well played. Ings is obviously frustrating. Started on the bench tonight for Southampton. Just 3 points for him for the double. But, you know, Ings to DCL looks like a really obvious move for the double. Team looks in good shape. Well played. Barnes came in clutch as well. Outstanding score, that. Always number one, triple captain options after game week 26. So the triple captain options will basically be the remaining teams to have a double, which were these. So Villa, Everton, Spurs and Southampton are the other sides that currently still have a fixture yet to be rearranged. So there could be some potential triple captain options there, maybe like Grealish, DCL, Son or Kane. But that's about it. Of course, unless we get any other postponements, which might happen. You never know. We could see another COVID postponement, or, you know, because of other cup obligations, we might see further postponements. But those are the only guaranteed double game weeks as it stands. All the others have been rearranged now for double game week 26, which is why it's such a massive double, because there was so many fixtures to be rearranged. I think Ben Crellin was actually saying it's the biggest double ever. That's Ben Crellin's fixture ticker. This is also in the description if anyone wants a copy of this. Well worth having on your radar, because this includes, of course, double game week 27, blank game week 29, and also blank game week 33, where Southampton, City, Spurs and Fulham all blank. Haven't seen blank game week 33 talked about much, but it's another blank game week that is confirmed, definitely coming. The reason being is the League Cup final. City v Spurs. They play during game week 33, so of course they can't play in the league. And Southampton and Fulham are the two teams that they were going to play, so they also blank. But those blanks have been slotted into 26, so those aren't potential doubles. We already know those. But 29 is the big one. You look at the fixtures that will be played in 29, and there's more that won't be played than will be. So Leeds v Fulham, Villa v Spurs, Arsenal v West Ham, and Brighton v Newcastle. Those are the only fixtures we'll see in 29. So anyone that's used their free hit up, well worth having that blank at the back of your head, because you're going to want to be able to field the best team you can. And I think as long as you cover the key assets, then you're fine. So you're going to want to have the Spurs assets, you know, the likes of Son and Kane. You might want to have maybe an Arsenal player. You know, it could be a good option to have a differential. Leeds you certainly want. You want to have the likes of Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas probably. Aiden, join late. No worries, mate. It's going to be probably a short one. I forgot I had a virtual birthday party tonight for one of my mates, so I was on there for a couple of hours and then had to jump off last minute to do the stream, which I had already scheduled and didn't want to not do. So here I am. Appreciate everyone that has tuned in so far. Don't forget to like the video while you're here. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. So heading into tonight's game, it was looking like an absolute disaster for the most transferred in players. Ings, Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas and Gundogan. Those were the top 5 most transferred in. And they had all blanked going into tonight's game. But anyone with Bamford, Rafinha, Dallas, you know, all 3 or 2 of those 3 did exceptionally well. And it paid off right at the last hurdle. So congrats to any of them. Thanks to Dallas and Rafinha, I ended up on a pretty hefty red arrow, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's have a look at the Game Week 26 expected points, which is as follows. So Salah's actually top for expected points in Game Week 26 with 13.2, followed by Kane with 11.5, then Sterling 11.2, Vardy, Jesus, Son, Bruno, Mane, Cancelo, Rashford, DCL, and a few other names further down. Kobe, welcome to the channel, mate. You've picked the worst one to come to because I've had quite a few beers tonight and I don't normally drink and stream. But I appreciate you being here. Good to have you, mate. Hope you had a good Game Week 25 and it's well set for Game Week 26. So yeah, Salah's actually top for expected points. This is courtesy of FPL Review. They've got a really good algorithm which is supposedly more predictive than Bookies Odds. And it's something, of course, we track each week. Who's everyone captaining for 26? Have you decided? It's a really tough one, and if you get it right, you're going to fly up the ranks. But it's yeah, it's a very difficult game week to call who's going to do the best. I think the standouts are Salah, Bruno, DCL and Kane. So there's really 4 potential options. So we could see quite a spread captaincy. Dylan, if I had a free hit, I would play it in 23. No City or Spurs. Also had Villa. You mean 33? No City or Spurs. Also Villa have a good fixture after you get rid of them. Man U and Liverpool have good fixtures, so could triple up on them. Oh yeah, 33. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I haven't actually decided when I'm going to use it. It'll either be in 29 or 33. The 2 remaining blanks this season, but yeah, I don't know which one yet. But I've still got my free hit. I've still got my bench boost. And still got my wildcard. Excuse me. I blew my triple captaincy on Salah back in 19 for his 4 total points. But yeah, these are the moves I'm considering. So potentially Dina's going to come in, Target's going to come in, Brewster will come in just for the bench, and Edison will come in. And the reason I'm considering it is because, like I say, Stones, I just don't trust him to start all those games. And you look at City's fixtures, they've got 4 back-to-back home games across 2 doubles. So I really want in on that City defence for those doubles. You know, they're all at home. I know there's not as much of a home advantage right now, but City's defence has just been ridiculous this season. So I want to take advantage of that. And I don't know if Stones will allow me to. But Stones did serve me very well if I do sell him. He got me the brace in the double game week, so I thank him for that if he does leave my team. MSK's hopefully going triple captain Kane. Blue Sky Salah usually does decent even when Liverpool doesn't. Yeah, that's a fair point. So Salah's actually on 7 goals in his last 10. So maybe we shouldn't rule Salah out. This is why I've got the armband on Salah as it stands. I don't think he's going to be that heavily captained. So I think he's a good option. Hendo, thoughts on KDB? I love the KDB pick. I know a few people in chat have plans to get him in for the double. And obviously we know KDB, how good KDB is. He speaks for himself. But Gundogan, I think, represents better value at the moment. But KDB's a very solid pick as well. A differential even, which is not something you often say about KDB. I think he's about 10% owned. Might have gone up a little bit since he returned from injury. Yeah, 11.4% owned. So he returned from injury against Everton, came off the bench, played 10, started against Arsenal, played 62. They were obviously getting back to full fitness, and it looks like he's pretty much there now. And he looked very good against Arsenal. So I do like the KDB pick. It's just whether it's worth it over Gundogan, and whether there's better value doubling up on the defence. And personally, I'm doubling up on the defence. So then it's a question of Gundogan or KDB, and I think Gundogan's the one. I've had him for a while, and he's just been outstanding. In the form of his life, best scoring season he's ever had. So if I was on a wildcard, though, I'd be very tempted by KDB. He's also very team dependent. I can't easily accommodate him. Aiden, is Maddis available to play? I actually have no idea about Maddison. Did he? He did go off injured, didn't he? We probably won't know until the press conference. So I will be back as usual for a deadline stream for Game Week 26. So that will be on Saturday morning, 10 AM UK time. Set your alarms, and we'll definitely know by then what the status of Maddison is. I'm just checking on Premier injuries, see if we've had any comments from Rogers on that. So a couple of days ago, Roger said it's just his hip. He had an issue with it last season. He's just felt it on a corner that he took. So we'll see how he is over the next couple of days. So nothing concrete yet. 50% chance of playing. But yeah, as I say, we'll probably know more once we have the Leicester press conference before Double Gameweek 26. I'll see how we do, mate. He says, will Grealish be back this week or nah? I don't think he will be. Dean Smith is notorious for being very coy with injury news, and maybe that's why he's been so salty about the leak and banning the Villa players from playing FPL, but I don't think he will be, unfortunately. I don't think we have had anything concrete of what the injury was. But the leaks said he was going to be out for potentially a month, so if there's any truth to the leaks, I'd be surprised. So again, a couple of days ago was the last comments, and he said, Jack has had discomfort in training. We'll assess it as we go. It's not a recurrence of an old injury, and it's not long term. I hope he'll be back for Leeds. So again, hopefully we'll have something more concrete by the time the Villa press conference has come around, which I guess would be on Friday or probably on Friday. So yeah, I don't think anyone knows right now. Hopefully we'll have more information by then. Please, Sky. Probably won't be up by 10 AM, but I'll try. Set an alarm, mate, and watch it on your phone in bed. How about that? No, that's alright if you miss it. As always, I do add timestamps to the videos for anyone that misses the streams. Just trying out your link there, Matt. Let's see if we can get that working. So, what's this, Matt? You're playing your draft, trying to move on Armstrong. Available mids here. So these are your available mids on draft. God, it's slim pickings. I would say Neves is worth signing. Got the double game week. Barkley could be a differential there. Again, he has the double. But there's really not many options here, to be honest. Yeah, those are about the only two I'd consider from that list. Maybe a McGinn. But yeah, that's slim pickings, isn't it? That's the difficulty of draft. I've actually got a draft set up with one of my mates, and I completely forgot about it for a few weeks, and I only remembered the other day. Anyone else play draft? I mean, it's a really cool concept. You know, the players can only be picked once. It's a great idea. It just has never really caught on the same way as the main game. Not nearly as much. Yeah, Sigurdsson, potentially as well. I've not admittedly looked at Siggy at all and how much he's been playing, because I don't really consider him an option in FPL anymore. Not putting up the numbers he once did, but I think he's been playing more consistently. No, I mean, 23, he was on the bench. It looks like he's being benched against the bigger teams. You know, he was on the bench against Liverpool and Man United, so and Leicester. You know, whether that's just drawing conclusions, or maybe there's something in that. And if there is something in that, then obviously they've got two decent fixtures on paper, so maybe there's a chance of him starting both. But yeah, I'd say Neves. MSK, is Soyuncu a good defensive option? Can't afford Castagna or Pereira and reluctant to bring in Target. You got Martinez. He is an option, yeah, definitely. He's just not got much of a high ceiling. That's the problem with Soyuncu. I'd still be tempted by Target, to be honest with you. The reason being that he, of course, could have the double game week in 28. I'm really crossing my fingers for that one. I hope we get a double game week 28 because I'm likely to do the Dina and Target moves myself. And that'll set me up with 4 double game week players for 28. And I'll also have 3 double game week players for 27. So it's a lot of double game weeks. It's double game week seasons. What else did I prepare for this stream? Oh, I've got a comparison Bruno versus Salah. Okay. I believe this was over this is over the last 5 game weeks. So for those that are unsure about who to captain, this is a comparison between Salah and Bruno just over the last 5 game weeks. And this is per 90. So Salah, as you'd expect, he's got the higher expected goals, higher big chances, shots in the box. But Bruno's got outrageous expected assists, big chances created, the key passes. So yeah, I mean, again, it's really difficult, but Salah's more likely to score, which is what you expect. Bruno's obviously got the goal scoring potential as well, but he's also got the assist potential in him. In terms of predicted points, the algorithm actually has given Salah high expected points. So this is actually the same thing we saw on the FPL review. And the other one I've got here is Bruno. Oh, no, I don't. I thought I'd done Bruno versus Kane, but I don't. Is there any players that you want me to compare, guys? This is Fantasy Football Hub, so if there's any players you want me to compare here, let me know in chat and I'll compare them. Kobe says, who would you play, Bamford or Rafinha? I would play Bamford. That's a tough one as well, but I think Bamford just edges it there. Aiden, considering James Rodriguez for Grealish. No, the problem with James is he's just not playing consistently or putting up the FPL returns that he was earlier in the season. So I think Barnes from Leicester's the more obvious replacement. Compare Maddison to Barnes. Let's do it. Harvey Barnes. So again, it's kind of what you'd expect. Maddison with the more big chances created, expected assists, while Harvey Barnes has got the higher expected goals, more big chances, he's taking more shots in the box. Compare DCL Richarlison. This is just over the last 5 again. Richarlison's got horrendous numbers over the last 5. I don't know how it looks over the course of the season. Richarlison obviously has missed some games, and Calvert-Lewin's been in the form of his life for a best part of this season. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing in it. It's all Calvert-Lewin. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night there. Thank you everyone that has tuned in to this stream. Been a good one. I will be back on Saturday morning at 10 AM for a deadline stream. That's going to be the big one. I'll have loads prepared for that. Loads to talk about. Looking forward to that one. Appreciate everyone that has tuned in. Adam, Aiden, Blue Sky, Kobe Stewart. Appreciate you all being here. MSK Matt. Anyone else I've missed? Ollie. If anyone hasn't liked the video, don't forget to like before you go. And of course, subscribe if you're not. But until then, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the deadline stream.